What do you do with the avalanche of stuff? That's what we're talking about today. We'll get started right after this. You're responsible for a loved one's estate. You walk into the home and what do you see? Stuff. So much stuff. There's things on the shelves, things in drawers, cabinets, the attic, the basement, the garage. Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff. And this is your loved one's home and your loved one's belongings, and you want to treat it with care and with respect. What do? We have found that many of our clients become overwhelmed with all of these belongings. They try their best to go through as much of it as they can and to gather the important documents and the personal items that mean something to them and their loved ones. But a lot of times, it's just a lot of things. The good news is that if you want it, we're here to help you. We have handled so many probate and trust properties over the years, hundreds, and we've seen all arrays of quantities of belongings. Everything from homes that are simple, quaint, and just filled with the basics, all the way to homes that are stacked floor to ceiling with items. We've handled all scenarios from estate sales to buyout companies to family managing all of the items on their own. And we can give you guidance as to what steps can be taken, but you get to make the decision. We always recommend starting small with the low emotional areas. Don't go through all the belongings from your childhood. Begin with the simple things. Start with something like a closet or a pantry. Go through items and make decisions about what you would like to keep and what you'd like to let go of. But also remember that if you don't want to go through any of it, you really can lean on other professionals and vendors to do the work for you. What do I mean by that? Well, in our experience, many executors, administrators, and trustees find that leaning into an estate sales company when they have a lot of items to sell, or a buyout company if a lot of the items in the home are really not of that much value, can help them to navigate the process. What is an estate sales company? An estate sales company is a professional company that will come in and they will assess whether or not the items in the home are of enough value to make them money, but also make money for the estate. It's important that when you hire an estate sales company, you choose one that is licensed, professional, and that has good reviews, whether it be online or from professionals like ourselves, so that you are not blindsided if items don't sell or if you are left paying the estate sales company. It does happen. So estate sales companies take time, and if you are in a bit of a rush, it's good to note that an estate sales company may not be your best option. Another option for emptying a property is a buyout company or a cleanout company, and they will come in and assess what the value of all the items in the home would be, both usable items and trash, and they will either offer a number or request a payment for taking everything. But oftentimes, when we've worked with them, it's a great option because they take everything. Trash, usable items, things that you wouldn't think of as necessary to remove from a home. They'll get a completely empty house for you, and then you'll be ready to sell a vacant property that is empty as opposed to one filled with things. Sometimes properties can be sold with all the items in them. We don't always go that route because you oftentimes will have a bit of value lost when you sell a property with everything in it. But if an estate doesn't have any funds to provide anything, including cleaning out a property, then selling as is with all items is the way to go. But when you're sorting through the items in the beginning, you want to make decisions about what you'd like to keep and what you'd like to let go of, and what matters to the beneficiaries and yourself. In the beginning, when you choose to go through all the items yourself, we always recommend that you try to get family involved. And this is because it's going to go easier with loved ones around, and if the other beneficiaries participate in helping you to find items or want to participate and you have a good working relationship with them through that process, you will actually be able to keep them in the loop better because they're going to be aware of what the condition of the items in the home are and kind of generally what is of value and what isn't. Be respectful of personal attachment for your loved ones and yourself because sentimental items are something that matters to us, right? I mean, I have a beautiful tray that was given to me by one of my husband's aunts when his grandmother passed away. And it's the only item I have from her, and I love that thing so much. And I bring it to all family events, and it's of value to me because it's sentimental, but it doesn't have a lot of resale value in general. It's just an item that means something because it came from someone who I love. So be respectful of that for the other beneficiaries. It might be simple things, a candle, a plate. Know that large valuable items will have to be accounted for when it comes to a probate, but for the most part, it's important for you as a beneficiary and the other beneficiaries to be able to consider the items of value and take things that matter to them. Again, we always think that it's important that you lean on professional help with the process of clearing out a property. After you and the beneficiaries have come into the property and taken the items that are sentimental, you may find that there really isn't anything else of value, and the time that it would take to clear it out is just too much. We had an experience recently with a client that we brought in a buyout company to give a bid, and they didn't like the number that they received for the items that were there. There were a lot of collectibles and antiques, but there wasn't enough for an estate sales company to come in and sell. So we had brought in a buyout company to assess what they thought the value would be worth, and our client determined that that value wasn't enough for them. So they decided that they would go through the items on their own. Unfortunately, they lived far away, and it was a plane ride to get here to be able to handle these items. They ended up spending about a month longer preparing the estate for sale than what they had originally planned. And it was so much time that they spent going through things and organizing things and finding the right places to donate items, because unfortunately in the world we live in, a lot of items are not donatable or have to be donated to special places. There are certain scenarios where medical equipment is really hard to resell, but to the right people, it can be sold. And when you have a company that is professional, and that is the job that they do, they take items and sell them to the people who they matter to, then it takes the burden off of you trying to find places to take these items or sell these items. So our client could have spent $1,000 to have all the items in the home, usable and non-usable, removed, but instead they spent about a month's time clearing out these items on their own. In the end, I think that they were regretful of that decision and wish that they would have gone the other route, but it was what it was, and they made the decision that they made. We don't want you to have to go through the burden of going through all these items if it's not necessary, so consider a buyout company if an estate sale is not the right move for you. Another note we'd like to make is, if it's right after your loved one has passed, there is time. You don't want to wait too long, but know that immediately after someone has passed, you don't need to completely empty the home immediately right after. You can take a little bit of time and go through those items with your loved ones and make decisions. We recognize that this journey of going through and sorting your loved one's belongings entails a huge emotional toll and time, so much time. So make it manageable for yourself however you need to. Recognize that your loved ones may have items that they want. You may have sentimental items in the home that you would like. You will need certain documents if you can find them, but there are companies that will do a lot of the work for you. You know, when we hire a buyout company, they'll come in and we ask them to take any important documents or family photos and put them in the bathtub, so that the dry bathtub, it's not wet. So that they can then find, we can give those items to the family. So know that with the right professionals and help through the process, this task can be accomplished. It is not solely your responsibility to manage all of those items, and do whatever it takes to make it so that your task is manageable to you. We hope you found this of value. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell button. Know that we have new videos come out every week, and you wouldn't want to miss any of them. Have a great day.